This one eats hummingbirds alive. Not a bird, not a bat, an insect the size of your thumb. 8 mantises. 8 different ways to be a nightmare with wings. The Chinese mantis, Tenodera sinensis. 3 inches of green ambush, and it doesn't stop at bugs. It lives in gardens and meadows across North America now. An invasive species that never got the memo about staying in its lane. It hangs near flowers. Not for the nectar. For what the nectar attracts. Hummingbirds feed there too. The mantis waits, motionless, forelegs cocked like loaded springs. When a hummingbird hovers close, it strikes. One grab. The spiked forelegs clamp the bird's neck, and the mantis starts feeding before the bird stops moving. This isn't rare. It's been documented in at least 12 U.S. states. Most insects fear birds. This one turns the food chain upside down and eats the thing that's supposed to eat it. The springbok mantis. Mantis cafra. Native to South Africa. Now an invader in New Zealand. And New Zealand's own mantis is losing because of it. Here's the mechanism. Female springbok mantises have evolved an aggressive form of sexual cannibalism. She doesn't wait for mating to finish. She doesn't even always wait for it to start. Males approach cautiously, freezing mid-step, reading her body language for a signal to strike. Sometimes there's no signal. She lunges, bites off his head, and his body, reflexively, without a brain giving orders, keeps trying to mate anyway. The local New Zealand mantis males haven't evolved defenses against this. They approach the invaders the same trusting way they approach their own species. They get eaten at higher rates. The invaders spread faster because of it. A predator that's outcompeting a native species not with speed or venom, but by being a better cannibal. The ghost mantis, Philocrania paradoxa. Central and East Africa, built to look exactly like a dead leaf, curled edges and all. The camouflage isn't decoration. It's the entire hunting strategy. It sways gently in the breeze, mimicking a leaf caught in wind, so prey walking past never registers it as alive. And it doesn't chase. It doesn't need to. An insect wanders within striking range, and the forelegs, held folded like a leaf's ragged tip, snap open in under a fifth of a second. Faster than the prey's nervous system can process threat. Some ghost mantis populations take the deception further. Juveniles are darker, resembling a wet, recently fallen leaf, and lighten as they age to resemble one that's dried out. The costume changes with the season it's designed for. Most predators hide to avoid being eaten. This one hides, so its prey never realizes it should run. The giant Asian mantis, Hierogula membranacea, one of the largest mantises alive, and one of the most indiscriminate. It's been recorded taking down prey far outside typical mantis territory. Small lizards, frogs, even small snakes. Its size lets it overpower vertebrates that would shrug off a smaller mantis's strike. The forelegs carry rows of spines angled backward, like a bear trap built from an insect's own exoskeleton. Anything that hits those spines and pulls away only drives them in deeper. There's a myth reframe here. Most mantises specialize. This one eats flies, that one eats moths. The giant Asian mantis doesn't specialize. It eats whatever fits. The devil's flower mantis, Mantis diabolica. East Africa, widely considered the largest mantis species on Earth, and it knows exactly how to use its size. When threatened, it doesn't flee. It rears up, spreads wings, striped in violent purple and white, and raises its front legs into a display that mimics something far more dangerous than an insect should be able to fake. The display isn't for hunting. It's a bluff. Predators that would otherwise attack hesitate, reading the flash of color as a warning reserved for things that actually sting or bite. Nothing about the mantis backs that thread up. It has no venom, no sting, just a costume good enough to make bigger animals flinch first and ask questions later. Most animals that bluff this hard get called out eventually. This one has been running the same bluff for millions of years, and it still works. The orchid mantis, Hymenopus coronatus. Southeast Asian rainforests. This is not camouflage. This is a trap disguised as a flower. Its 4 hind legs are shaped and shaded like flower petals. Pink, white, lobed at the edges. It doesn't hide near flowers. It becomes one, perching in open foliage where real flowers would grow, drawing pollinators toward itself instead of the actual plants nearby. Research has shown something stranger. Bees and other pollinators are drawn to orchid mantises more than to real flowers in the same habitat. The mantis isn't just mimicking a flower. In some conditions, it's outcompeting them at being one. An insect landing on a real orchid flies away with pollen. An insect landing on this one doesn't fly away at all. Most predators mimic prey to hide from bigger predators. This one mimics prey's food source to hunt the prey. The budwing mantis. Paris Findale, Agrianina. East Africa. Small, fast, and armed with a bluff so specific it mimics an entirely different, more dangerous animal. When cornered, it doesn't just flash color like the devil's flower mantis. It raises its wings and abdomen into a shape and posture that closely resembles a stinging wasp mid-threat display. A silhouette predators have learned, through painful experience, to avoid. It's borrowing a reputation it didn't earn. The strike speed backs up the aggression, at least. Budwing mantises are among the fastest strikers in the mantis world, closing the gap on prey in a motion too quick for the human eye to track without slow-motion footage. Faster than a trapjaw ant. Faster than a blink. A bug with no venom, wearing the reputation of one that has plenty. The European mantis. Mantis religiosa. The species behind the praying mantis myth and the reason the myth exists in the first place. This is the mantis researchers have studied most closely for sexual cannibalism, and the data is stranger than the legend. In lab studies, females decapitate males during mating in a significant share of encounters. And here's the mechanism nobody expects. Removing the male's head doesn't stop mating. It improves it. The head normally suppresses the nerve cluster controlling copulation. Without it, that suppression is gone, and the movements become more vigorous, not less. The male's body, quite literally, mates better without a brain telling it to hold back. Some males have evolved a countermeasure, approaching from angles that make it harder for the female to strike first, or waiting for her to be preoccupied feeding before mounting. It rarely works for long. For a species whose name comes from looking like it's praying, there's nothing peaceful about what actually happens here. The pose was never devotion. It was just the shape a killer takes while it waits. If you're finding these creatures half as unsettling as I am, drop your favorite one in the comments. 8 mantises. 8 completely different ways evolution decided ambush predator wasn't quite terrifying enough on its own.